experience of this pet trust changed your life and affected you? Let's start with you, Jessica.
Thank you very much, interviewer Sam, that just left a soccer game. So we're doing this video as a really quick intro before I get to that question, to enable people to help, enable them to better think about including pets in death plans, because that's the reason I started this rescue. So that's why we're doing this for you as the pet owner, and I'm very grateful to Holly and Dee and my husband Fabricio and my son Sam for taking time out of their day to help with this. So let me see here, I made a couple notes. Oh, to address publicly a couple questions that I've been asked along the way. Privately, people say, why didn't you do this, or why did you do it this way? A couple things. So I can kind of answer that. And then offer some very basic info on the difference between pet trust and bequeathing via a will. Disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an estate planning attorney. You need to work with an attorney to make your written death plans. So let's go back to the question. I'm sorry, sir. Could you repeat it for me?
How has the experience of this pet trust changed your life and affected you?
Okay, so we'll stick to those questions. That's why I wrote them, and there are only 5, so don't worry. How has it changed my life and affected me? And then we'll hear from Dee and Holly. It's changed my life because knowing and meeting Miss M, will refer to her, that this house, the pets here belong to her. Her pets still live here, and she's no longer on the living world. It changed me because I had the privilege to meet and know a lady that's so wonderful and such a great pet mom, and that like really got it, that really understood the ideal of this rescue and found value in it and liked it enough to say, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do it with you and your rescue. Like, that's huge to me. So that's how it impacted me and changed my life, just knowing that, just that boost, if you will, because I had the idea initially like in 2013 working at the shelter. So then, fast forward 10, 11 years, and having the first person actually have that trust in us was just monumental. I can't underestimate how big that has been for me.
Now you, Holly.
Well, it's definitely made my life busier, but it's fulfilling work. I love each and every one of the animals here. They all have their own personality, obviously, and traits that they bring to the table and quirks that they bring to the table. And I love the challenge of fulfilling all of their needs. Love that I get the opportunity to live here in a beautiful spot, take care of these animals. I mean, they are all great animals. I totally get why she had them, and I totally get why she wanted a soft place for them to kind of land and to be taken care of. I also feel very connected with them. This kind of came on the kind of close end of me losing my daughter, and I feel like that I've really been able to connect with these guys because they lost their mom, and so we both kind of had an empty spot to fill, so to speak. And I think that it's a work in progress, but I think that we're meeting up on that. So
Now, Dee.
I had heard of pet trusts, but it was familiar with them, but didn't fully understand the dynamics. And being here and seeing what goes on, the dynamics, understanding how a woman entrusted the care of her pets in the her afterlife two fabulous people and fabulous surroundings. It's been a pretty cool experience, and these animals are loved and cared for, and it's just awesome. More people need to do it. They need to include their pets in their wills.
And how has it impacted you?
Oh, it filled my heart to know that she cared enough for her pets, for her children, her fur babies, to be taken care of after she was gone. It's filled my heart, and I love being around them. They're fabulous. They're just such great babies.
Jessica, how did you meet Mrs. M? Or how did she know about this rescue and this service?
Great question, Sam. So, in a nutshell, she wasn't a doctor. First, we met as Miss M adopting Sophie from this rescue, and I remember I was substitute teaching one day, and I answered. I happened to be on planning when Miss M called, and I saw that it was on the rescue, the Google Voice line. So I was in the classroom getting ready to pick kids up from the gym, and she said, "Yes, I'm calling about Sophie." And I said, "Oh, that's so great, but I'm subbing. Could I call you back later?" I said, "I'm getting ready to pick up a bunch of second graders from PE." And she laughed and she said, "Oh, I let them stay a little longer in PE. They probably need to run a little more." She was kind of joking, and I didn't know it at the time, but Miss M had been a college professor. So she does understand the role of educator and how it's pretty demanding too. And so she adopted Sophie. Sophie's still with us. She's staying at our house so she can have more one-on-one attention, because Sophie has terminal cancer. I try not to say that word, so that she can get a little bit more one-on-one attention, because we have a few less pets in our home. So she's with us right now, but that's how she knew about this rescue and this service and its focus on including pets and planning.
Wow, that's really interesting. Now, Holly, seeing how this opportunity to live somewhere nice, live your life while realizing someone's last wishes for their pets by being the pet's new mom. How does that feel? And would you advise others to consider creating a pet trust through this rescue?
Absolutely. I would advise others to include their four-legged family members. They are family, and it's devastating to lose someone and then also have to immediately take on the role of caregiver for their animals who you may or may not be familiar with. To have those animals have to possibly be uprooted out of their regular, everyday, normal routine and home, and lose their parent, basically. That's just absolutely devastating, and it just adds so much onto someone that is already grieving or bereaved. So definitely, I would advise it.
So true.
Mm-hmm. Very good point.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. And now you, Dee, please share what you do with the Pet Trust and anything you'd like to add.
I come out usually about once a week, and I help Holly. I help her pick up the slack. Maintenance, laundry, love on the dogs.
Everything.
Vets, don't forget,
Oh, yeah,
a lot of
taking,
times you're driving
driving
pets to and
taking
from.
the vet. Yep, and I look forward to it. I love it. It's such a good environment. These animals are taken care of.
Back to you, to wrap up, Jessica. If this house is bigger than yours for your family and all, and this is your first Pet Trust client as a rescue focused on pets and planning, which is huge, then why didn't you opt to live here yourself with your family? Why did you opt to have someone else here as a caregiver initially?
So that is a question that, especially right when all this, and it happened really quickly, because sometimes when people are terminally ill, unfortunately, they go downhill pretty quickly, and that was the case, unfortunately, with Miss M. And when all this happened, it was super fast, and Holly will remember that too. It was like boom, you know, I mean, it was within a few months, and I had reached out to her. It made sense for the majority of people to think, well, it's just a no-brainer, pack up and move there and you be primary caregiver. But that was not my initial thought, and I'm glad that it wasn't, and I'm so grateful that what first came into my heart and my mind was, who can I help with this? Like, as a rescue, as this little entity, little for right now anyway, we can be bigger with more pet trust. But my initial thought was, who can this help? Who's the person that's meant to be there? At least initially with these pets. Because that is my bigger vision for Paw and Feather Plan, is this multiplied times 10, you know, because, and I can't live in 10 places as primary caregiver. My role in this is to be able to insert the right person into these homes, into people's homes that they've built and created through lifetimes of hard work, through blood, sweat, and tears, like all of us do, and insert the right person there, right pet lover in there to take care of their pets when those people are no longer able to due to death or illness. So I wanted to immediately put that concept at play and be like, oh, I need to find the right person. It could have been us. Would it have been easier? In a lot of ways, of course. But that was never my vision for this rescue. It was much bigger than that. It's to also help the people, help the pet caregiver, giving them the opportunity to live somewhere, do work that they love, which is taking care of animals, and getting a really also nice place to live, basically kind of free of charge. So that is the why, and Holly was that person, and I still know that she is that person. I do believe that her daughter's spirit played a role in that from beyond. I had a dream about Skyla, God bless her soul and memory, and you know, it just like all kind of fell into place. And I do, like I say, believe there was definitely divine intervention at play. The last thing, I'm going to read just two little bitty, not even paragraphs, for you guys, because there are a couple books. These are my copies: Estate Planning When You Have Pets by Kelly Brown, estate planning attorney, and All My Children Wear Fur Coats by Peggy Hoyt, also an estate planning attorney. She's based in Central Florida. She's based here in Louisville, Kentucky. I know both of these women. They're both awesome. Just to help you kind of understand the concepts better, when I got these out for today, I literally opened it to the right page without even trying to. So again, divine intervention at play here. But why try to define to you what this stuff means when the estate planning attorneys have done it for me? So this is just this little bitty piece. My definition of a trust is a relationship under law where one person or entity holds property of any kind of assets or money and designates another person to be in charge of it under certain defined terms and conditions. A trust can be drafted to suit your specific needs under most circumstances. And I really like that definition, especially when there's a property involved. Like, you know, if you're somebody that has multiple animals, or even just one, and you know you want somebody to live in your house and take care of your pet when you're gone, you're probably going to be looking at a pet trust. You're dealing with property, more complicated stuff. I'm saying opposed to a will. Okay, guys, just so you know that. And again, the nice thing about this trust, you have a trustee and a custodian. The rescue basically is the caregiver custodian, like we're a team. And the trustee handles the money. I love that. I don't need to know. I don't really want to know exactly what's in it. I know usually with a trust there's some timeline, but it kind of takes all that burden off of me. So you really have that three-pronged system, like it said, a legal relationship. kind of the legal system, you know, attorney, judge if need be, and then your trustee and your caregivers on the ground. And we're that caregiver role. That's the primary role of this rescue. So it's an amazing system. There's been a huge learning curve, so whoever makes one after this too will benefit from that. But I think overall, I know that the pets are very happy and that we're doing a good job, and they're awesome, like they said, and we love them and have relationships with them. So that's the main thing. All the other little quirk things, hitting the ground running kind of things, like your learning curve with anything, just typical stuff, right? And then the last paragraph on this one, it's something, didn't say specifically a will. Miss Hoyt didn't use that language, but she said the advantage of a will per se, this is me paraphrasing, it's not exactly what it says, but it is an easy way to leave money or provision to benefit your pet. This would be somebody that's just like, I just want to make a simple will. I just want to make sure this rescue or this person takes in my dog, and I'll leave a little money, make sure they can take care of it, and for them doing me the favor, and because it's the right thing to do. That's that person. Quickly, it does say the disadvantage is the amount you leave may be too little or too much, resulting in either a shortfall or a windfall to your pet caregiver. It says if there's a shortfall, you will be relying on the generosity of your pet caregiver to make up the difference. If you leave too much, you have to be comfortable that either the caregiver or remainder beneficiaries are deserving of the excess. So those are the things she's saying with the will. And then this person, Miss Hoyt, goes into some guidelines that she uses. More simple cases, bequeath, will can work, but the pet trust has more oversight and better for a little bit more complex terms. Again, not an estate planning attorney. For the pet stuff, the pet care, getting the right people, and you being part of something bigger, we can help you with that. The legal stuff, we won't say any more on that. We would leave that to the attorneys. I think there's one last question. Thank you so much for remembering that, Sam, before you walked off. Thank you for not listening to me. Usually I don't say that at the mall.
You often refer to the big picture and being part of something much bigger when referring to pets and planning with Paw and Feather Plan. Could you elaborate on that a bit? Any kind of exemplify that concept with this particular property and case?
This rescue helps a lot of pets. We do adoptions, you know, I pull from Metro, so you're part of all of that too, and you're part of helping people. This is helping Holly, this is helping Dee, this is helping the vet clinic that treats and cares for Miss M's pets.
And they're relatives of those who passed.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Dee. Thank you so much for that, because that's huge. Yeah, imagine if her siblings that are also not, you know, they're not old, but they're not spring chickens, were left with all these pets wondering what to do. So I know that they're grateful she did this. They fully supported the ideal of having plans worked out for her multiple pets, because Miss M had several cats, has still several cats. So all those that you're benefiting, and the community. Somebody gets paid to mow this lawn. Somebody gets paid to handle plumbing issues, which have we had? Yes, we've had. And all of that helps your local economy. So making a pet trust, doing charitable giving the right way, enabling your pets to stay in a home, and helping the community and all this network around them. I mean, talk about empowering. Talk about a legacy. So thanks for considering making us part of yours. The end.
Yay, no more
Round of applause.